Hey everyone, today we're counting down our picks for the best motorcycle racing games that you should check out, and without further ado, let's dive right in. Off-road racing Buggy x ATV x Moto. So far, this game is the best stand-in I've found for the epic MotorStorm franchise. Now, it's not exactly the same, you know. There's more emphasis on jumping, pulling off tricks, and timing your turbo boosts. However, the key thing here is that this game is just plain fun. It's got that addictive one more race feel that MotorStorm had. Anyway, I'm still on the lookout for that perfect modern clone of the PS3 arcade racing legend, but for now, this game is a solid runner-up with its own unique spin on the gameplay. MX vs ATV Legends. Okay, this game is definitely a step up from before, but let's keep it real, it's far from perfect, at least to the hardcore motocross sim guys. And speaking of which, they've updated the whips and tweaked some physics, but there's still work to be done. The grip and berms and the whoop physics? Yeah, they need some serious attention, and obviously, whether this game is good or not is totally subjective. So, if you're in it for the simple and fun dirt biking experience or just love the series, give it a go, cause you'll like it. DUCATI 90th Anniversary. Now this game is basically Ride, but with only Ducati bikes. Yep, that's right, it's like they took Ride, trimmed the fat, slapped on a Ducati logo and said, "You're welcome." It's got fewer bells and whistles, sure, but hey, it's cheaper, so stop whining. Now, here's the kicker. Milestone is literally the only developer making bike games on PC that don't feel like you're riding a shopping cart with square wheels. So if you're a hardcore Ducati fanboy, this is practically mandatory, and obviously, just don't expect a masterpiece. After all, it's only $10, so don't complain. Moto Racer 4. First things first, this game is not realistic, but hey, Moto Racer was never about realism. It's all about that over-the-top rally-style action. And a lot of the critics weren't even around for the originals because they're too young. So, if you loved the original Moto Racer games, this is your spiritual revisit. It's fast, it's gorgeous, and it's low on setup time. Perfect for a quick grab-and-go racing fix. And while it might not be a AAA title, it still looks great and runs at breakneck speeds. Plus, it's a blast to play against a friend. Dakar 18. Maybe you don't know, but the Dakar rally event isn't only done with trucks and cars. They have bikes too, which is quite extreme considering they're doing it in extreme environments. Anyway, this game offers a true-to-life simulation gameplay. However, the simulation focuses on the racing aspect, not the vehicle physics. But still, this one is more realistic when it comes to the vehicle physics compared to the newer game. So yeah, now you can finally know what it's like to ride a bike in the middle of a desert, all while sitting comfortably in your basement. Kandagawa Jet Girls. Okay. Before you click off from this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about this game, alright? Now, I know this isn't a motorcycle racing game. For God's sake, anyone can see that there isn't a single motorcycle in this game. It's a jet ski racing game, with lewd anime girls, to be honest. However, in a way, it feels like a motorcycle racing game, because the water physics are shitty. No wave, no nothing. Basically, it's a game designed for cash grabs. And yeah, I admit I'm just trolling with this one, so don't take it seriously. Motorbike Evolution 2024. The dev said that this is the first ever true MMO motorbike racing game. I think he's saying that this game is an online multiplayer racing game, however, I could be wrong. Anyway, when you first start, you'll be racing on very old-school motorcycles. Think of the grandfathers of modern bikes. And as you progress, you'll get to upgrade your ride and switch to a more modern one. Moreover, the game features 80 motorbikes from 120 years of history. And although it's not a motorbike simulator, it still has some physics, so take that in mind. Fuel. Now, when people think about open-world racing, this game is at the top of most people's minds. I mean, just see it for yourself. This is like MotorStorm combined with Mad Max and Forza Horizon. And obviously, if you're after realistic physics, this is not the game. But if you just want some crazy, reckless fun after a long day at work, then this one will deliver exactly what you need, especially with the bike races. However, the game is already delisted on Steam, so you'll need to use an unconventional method to get it. TrackDayR. If you love Assetto Corsa, you might want to check this one out. It aims to be a complete motorcycle simulator that allows you to ride every type of motorbike. And not only that, the concept of being able to mod in any motorcycle and every track is also super appealing, at least to some people. The developers are active and consistently rolling out updates, and you can genuinely feel the improvements with each one. So if you're into mods and love a good project, give this one a try, but just keep in mind, it's a work in progress. SBK 22. Some of you are hardcore MotoGP fans and some of you, well, are hardcore Superbike fans. Well, if you're the latter, this one is for you, although it comes with a caveat. Essentially, this game is a reskinned MotoGP 22, but with Superbikes instead of MotoGP bikes. But don't worry though, because while the visuals are very similar, the physics are quite different. Similar but different, okay? So, if you think being a hardcore Superbike fan justifies getting this game, keep an eye out for this one because it often goes on sale. Dakar Desert Rally. Okay, this game is a bit different and definitely not your typical stage rally experience. I mean, it's the infamous Dakar Rally, and the simulation is in the navigation and orientation aspect, not the driving or riding. In arcade mode, the game is heavily assisted with mass starts, which means a lot of AI cars and bikes to bump into. It's chaotic, but fun if you like that sort of thing. Pro mode, however, gives you a staggered start and is closer to the real Dakar experience. And here, understanding the roadbooks is crucial, so start learning them. TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 3. Now this one is a hidden gem because not many people know this franchise exists. I mean, yeah, if you're into motorcycle games, chances are you're already familiar with it, but for the rest of you, I bet you didn't even know this series existed. Anyway, this series focuses on the infamous Isle of Man Tourist Trophy Racing event, one of the most dangerous racing events in the world. Scary, huh? And just so you know, the dev who worked on this is also the one behind Rims Racing, which we'll talk about later. V-Racer Hoverbike. Okay, this one is also another hidden gem, especially if you're into VR games. I mean, just see it for yourself, it's a futuristic motorcycle combat racing game wrapped up in VR experience. Seriously, how cool is that? And you know what? You must hold the motion controller as the handlebar and lean your body to the left or right if you want to turn in this game. So this is basically your old school motorcycle arcade machine, but this time it's in your mom's basement, with better visuals. So, if you're into VR gaming, definitely get this one. Road Redemption. Now, this game is here to scratch that road rash itch with a vengeance. Imagine racing at insane speeds, smashing rivals to bits with various weapons, all set in a gritty, post-apocalyptic world. Not only that, the controls are tighter than your favorite pair of jeans. And the combat? Oh boy, it's satisfyingly brutal and fun. And with a campaign that sucks you right into the chaos and multiplayer options to keep the adrenaline pumping, this game is pure, unadulterated fun. So, if you're into motorcycle combat racing experience, this one is an absolute must-play. Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 6. Okay, in this version, they've beefed up the bikes, making them stick better to the track, which adds a touch of realism. However, there's a bit of a dilemma with scrubbing or whipping. It's hit or miss, literally. And, let's be honest, sometimes the physics can be wonky, sending you flying off your bike for reasons that defy logic. But here's the deal. Crank up that AI, turn off those assists, and suddenly the game shines. The bikes will handle realistically and allow you to find that sweet flow you've been craving since the old days. Riptide GP Renegade. Now this one is actually a good and fun jet ski racing game, unlike the other game which I mentioned previously. I mean, the jet skis are futuristic and cool, the stunts are crazy and fun, the races are well designed, and you know what? It has a local 4-player split-screen mode, so you can now start finding excuses for losing when you play with your friends. Assuming you have friends, of course. And if you think that this game doesn't belong in this list, just think about it. A jet ski is basically a water motorcycle. Now, let that sink in. Rims Racing. Most gamers don't even know that this game exists, and that's a shame. But let me tell you, this is hands down the most realistic bike simulator you can get your hands on. I mean, we're talking about simulating oil viscosity changes with heat, how that impacts the bike's performance, and tracking wear and tear on over 500 mechanical parts. Not only that, every little component also matters, and if you ride hard, those parts are going to degrade in a way that feels super real. So don't expect it to hold your hand, it's for those who live and breathe bikes. MXGP 2021, the official motocross video game. Some of you who are fans of this series might be wondering, why didn't I include the latest game, which is MXGP 24? Well, you can check it out yourself, but that game sucks big time. I get it, Milestone isn't working on the series anymore due to licensing, so they went with another developer, and let's be honest, it just isn't great. It's terrible, and all the reviews and ratings clearly reflect that. Anyway, I think this one is still the go-to game for MXGP fans, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. GP Bikes. Now, this game is one of the go-tos when it comes to simulating motorcycle physics on PC. The base content isn't the richest, but once you dive into modding and hit the track with other players, it's a whole new level of racing satisfaction. Sure, development can be slow with just one person handling a few complex simulations, but where it stands today is an achievement in itself. Overall, I wholeheartedly recommend this title. Once you get hooked, even if you initially think you might not like it, you'll find yourself coming back time and time again.
I'm right here with you.
The Crew Motorfest. Alright, Motorfest might not be a traditional motorcycle racing game, especially with the focus on open world setting, so if you're okay with that, then this is the game for you. And in this game, there's the Bike Lovers playlist, where you can hop on various bikes and partake in various types of racing events. And guess what? One of them is riding the KTM RC 16 Red Bull on a road course. How cool is that? So, if you're into a fun arcade racing game that has some sports bike racing elements in it, this is the one. ONRUSH. There's been a noticeable shift towards simulation-focused racing games in recent years, leaving a gap for high-energy, arcade-style racers that deliver pure adrenaline and crazy action. Just see it yourself, arcade games are now branded as low-quality cash grabs by basement dwellers that only know about vehicle physics from video games. Some even believe that only real men play hardcore sims, but we don't care about that, right? Anyway, ONRUSH was famous for its online multiplayer modes, but now that the servers are dead, we can only enjoy the offline modes. But it's okay, it's still fun. MotoGP 24. Now, this one is the go-to MotoGP game for the mainstream audience right now because obviously it's the latest. And I gotta say, the new riding model is way more forgiving than in previous years. Last year, you made one little mistake and boom, you were flying off the track. But now, you can actually recover without feeling like the game's out to ruin your day. And obviously, if you love to be punished for making a mistake, even the tiniest mistake, this isn't for you. Go play Ride 4 or something. You'll be better off that way. MX Bikes. This game stands out as a realistic motocross simulator by boasting a meticulously crafted physics engine that faithfully replicates motorcycle dynamics and setup choices. And for a lot of people, it's more accessible compared to MX Sim, and being available on Steam also makes it easier to get. However, it's important to note that MX Bikes lacks both AI opponents and a career mode. It's an online-only racing experience, but in a good way. Oh, and one more thing. For those new to this game, expect some frustration before you fully enjoy it. Midnight Club, Los Angeles. Now, this game was famous back then for its atmosphere, customization, and soundtrack, which says a lot about Rockstar Games' reputation. And if you've lived in LA, been to LA, or are just curious about what it's like, then this game is your perfect choice since it captures the city vibe so well. Not only that, not many games let you race through heavy traffic in an open-world setting like this one. However, the game was never ported to PC, but luckily, it's available on modern Xbox consoles, so definitely check it out if you can. Ride 5. This one isn't as realistic as Ride 4, and if you loved it for its realistic approach, you might not like this one. However, since this one is better in almost every way and combines a more forgiving riding experience, I would say that if you're new to the series, this one is an obvious choice. And if you have a friend, a real one I might add, the split screen mode is back in this game, so you're good there. In short, if you're a hardcore player, get Ride 4, but if you have a social life, get this one. So do you agree with our picks? Check out these other videos from us and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.